Welcome everybody. It's a slightly smaller crowd than last time. It's a little bit more comfortable. There's finally the meeting. First thing on business, last Saturday we had our Sabino Canyon Star Party. It was a great success. We had 15 club members there, and there were quite a few people that stopped by. It was just a great time. Another one of those in a month. But before that, we have our kind of start of the semester fun club star party this Saturday, September 10th, at Windy Point on Mount Lemmon. So the details for this plan are we're going to meet in the parking lot south of Seward, which is over there, and we're going to meet at 4:30, and and then we're going to drive carpool up there. So if you don't have a car, that's fine. You just drive people. And the idea is it's a potluck deal, so you're going to make your own cool dish that you can bring up and share with everybody. However, there are no grill, no heating areas on the mountain because there's fire danger and we don't want to get into that. So either heat it up beforehand and wrap it in aluminum foil or something, or bring us something cold, so that we can all enjoy it on the mountain. Yes?
Are you meeting like at 4:30 on the dot, or is that whenever?
That's when everyone's gathering. We're
Okay.
not, if you can, if you have to.
I literally got off 4:30, but it's
Okay,
just
yeah,
like,
yeah.
like,
And that kind of also brings up another point. If you can't make it at 4:30, you can drive up the mountain by yourself and join us. But we have to pay by car to get in, so it'd be better if you joined us here and carpooled up. But obviously, if you can't, you can still drive up and join us and have a great time. Also, one thing that I need to mention, there aren't exactly benches or picnic tables there, so we have to ask you to bring a folding chair if you have one, or some kind of, I don't know, table setup or something small that you can fit in a car that you can bring out to Mount Lemmon so that we can have a comfortable meal. And that would just be really appreciated. As you can kind of see, this is a past star party, and there's like a wall here, but obviously we don't want to be sitting on rocks if we don't have to. However, there is kind of a probability of rain in the forecast, so if it does rain, then we'll just say, if we can tell that it's going to rain by 4:30 or 5, we're going to say, okay, we're just going to stay here and watch a movie instead. But hopefully we'll be able to actually do some astronomy. And we are going with another club that we're kind of involved with, is Students for the Exploration and Development of Space, or SEDS, and they have a 18-inch telescope, 18-inch Dobsonian that they kind of disassemble, and we can bring it up there, and it's really cool to look through. But we're also providing the steward scopes that we used at the last star party. However, if you have your own scope, you're more than welcome to bring it along. The more the merrier. And I have a sign-up sheet here that has your name and kind of you can sign up for bring chips or a casserole or I don't know, so that we can be consistent with our potluck. And there's going to be an online form. There is an online form. That was a fast turn on, Kevin.
I got it right here.
Yeah, if you guys actually want, we'll not do it on paper, but if you want, on our club website, uastroclub.org, under the meetings tab, you can go ahead and sign up for bringing an item. And please, if like 10 people are signing up for chips, please choose something else because we don't want a lot of chips. And there are instructions on the website, so check that out. Make sure you check it out if you're going to the Star Party.
And also, if you want to volunteer to drive, then that we're kind of saying that excuses you from bringing a cooked thing. So you can either bring a dish or drive. However, if you want to drive and we can get you reimbursed for gas instead. So if you want to get if you want to drive, you can either not bring something or get reimbursed for gas. That'd be great. However, I think that's it about the Star Party. Any questions? It's gonna be fun. Cool. Next thing on the agenda. One thing kind of as a social event that we had thought about previously but hadn't really kind of started is doing a bad sci-fi movie night just to hang out and relax. We've planned to do it every third Friday of the month so that we kind of have something going on every other weekend. The first Saturday being the Star Party, Sabino Canyon, and the third Friday being this bad sci-fi movie night. And September lands it on the 16th. And this month we're going to watch The Core, which if you haven't seen it is a great bad sci-fi movie. And Randall Munroe thought so as well. Made this wonderful comic. Next up, as we mentioned earlier, we are planning on going up to the 61-inch telescope on September 23rd to do some eyepiece observing. You can't see these pictures really well, but it's a really cool experience. And I have a kind of sign-up sheet if you're interested in doing that. And there will be more details about this to come. It probably won't be as involved as the Star Party we're doing this Saturday, but it's cool just to go up there and do some eyepiece observing. Kind of related to that, the astronomy question of the week is something we've done in the past where Dr. Don McCarthy, who's a really cool professor, does Nat's classes and stuff, and he has kind of worked with the club and done these kind of creative thinking questions, doing just kind of interesting questions. And so a lot of people have expressed interest in doing that on the sign-up sheet I had last week. He is available to come at 12:30 during this meeting, so you can just stay into the meeting and do the question, or he can do some other time. Kind of by a show of hands, how many people do you think would be good to do it at 12:30? Does anyone have any other suggestions? No? I'll pass that along to him then. And FYI, this is the picture I have up. You really can't see it very well, but it's a picture that the satellite Juno took when it was 6 million miles away from Earth, and this is Earth, and this is the moon. I just thought that's really cool. Pictures. You can look at the NASA website if you want a better picture of that. But that's really cool. Next thing, for those of you who are new to Tucson, there's a bar on 4th Avenue called Sky Bar, and it's kind of astronomy themed. And one of our secretary, who you probably might have been introduced to, Joel Muting, he works there and does observing, and he has to quit because he has more stuff going on. But if you're interested he told me to kind of solicit this observing job where basically you go there and you show drunk people things in the sky. So actually he said you don't have to be 21 because you're not drinking or something. 19. So, and you probably and you probably wouldn't be actually need to do that because you're not serving alcohol. So, but if you're interested in that, contact him at this email address. A few more things. We have a club office, and we're going to start having office hours starting next week, or this week, or end of this week. And you can see it's right over here in the trailer. And this is kind of some inside pictures we have lots of cool pictures, and we have all of our projects in there and stuff like that. So just kind of letting you guys know about that. So if you want to stop by sometime, great. Membership dues are $10 a semester. You can give them to Blythe, who's right there. And that just kind of helps support things like the Star Party that we're doing Saturday or other club events. And also fill out this. It would be great if you filled out this membership form because it helps get a good idea of who's actually involved in the club. Next, we have t-shirts. Yes.
See what they look like fitted and tucked in.
It's $5 per shirt. We have some here with us so that you can buy them at the meeting. It's just a cool thing to wear. Also, at the end of the meeting today, we're going to have Kevin talk about the restricted AAS, but as we move on in the semester, we will want more interesting presentations. Not that this isn't going to be interesting, but it's just great if you've done research and you don't want to present it to the club. It's kind of fun idea to see just kind of what people are working on. If you can't see, this is Amber Lutman, who's one of our members, doing a thing about lasers, and it says pew pew. So it's not a thesis talk, it's kind of a fun forum because it's our own research. So finally, we have lots of projects going on. The first one I want to talk about, the exoplanet project. You've all heard about it. It's where we've observed extrasolar planets, do data reduction. It's led by Jake Turner, and said to announce that we are meeting at south entrance of Stewart Observatory Mondays at 5:30. So if you're interested, that's where that's meeting. Also, yeah, the binocular telescope project. We're building a binocular telescope. And that meets at Tuesdays at 4:30 ish.
There's only one person who's a holdout for the lunar time, so 4:30 is fine.
Yeah. But you can talk to Blythe if you're interested in that. Also, if you want to build outreach materials, Dr. Katie Johnson. This is kind of a picture of the star model that a few of you that went to the Star Party got to see, and it kind of fluoresces under black light, and that's just really cool. Also, finally, last week we had here talk about a radio project, and we've got 12 people signed up for it now. And if you want to know more about it, he'll be here that you can ask questions to him about. And I have the sign-up sheet, so if you want to get involved, it's a really cool project.
So I'm going to ask real quick if people were available tomorrow after 4 o'clock to do like an organizational meeting. Does that match? You might have labs or Thursday like at 5:30. No? Okay.
I passed the
well, I think we'll probably go like for a half hour or something like that. So why don't we just plan on meeting upstairs then in 5:05 at after Columbus, like 10-15 minutes after Columbus.
Okay, that's
And if anybody wants to add their, make sure the email is on there. I'll create a listserv basically for the project so that we can all email back and forth. And I just want to, the last thing to say is the Fonco core team is really excited about this doing this. So we've been emailing back and forth. I have been this last week. They're fired up.
So once again, that's Thursdays at 5:10, 5:15, and 5:05 for Radio Project. Great. Last thing I want to mention, as Kevin alluded to earlier, we have a website, and it looks pretty awesome. I want to show it off. This is what you get when you go to uaastroclub.org, and it has this homepage. It talks about what we do. It has a location, and then it has tabs for meetings and lists of stuff. Like this is the sign-up sheet for all the Star Party potluck stuff, and then like it has the recorded meetings, so that if you can't make it to meeting, then you can see it on the website. And then it has the calendar, which has all kinds of stuff like the office hours, or the general meeting, or the Star Party. So this is, if you're not aware of when something's going on, we try and keep that updated. And then all kinds of other stuff. I think that's all I really show off. It's a cool website. If you're ever curious about something on the club, that's usually a good place to start. That is all I have. So I will turn it over to Kevin, who will talk about the Astronomy Club trip to the 217th and 218th American Astronomical Society.
Okay, so if some of you don't know, the American Astronomical Society is the basically the organization to be in if you're an astronomer or would like to get very involved in astronomy. It's composed of people from all across the nation, and they hold meetings twice a year in different locations across the United States. The previous two were in Seattle, Washington. That was their last winter meeting, and then their most recent summer meeting was in Boston, Massachusetts. So it's pretty cool. You can go all over the country to basically meet people doing research in astronomy, meet all sorts of astronomy item vendors, meet all sorts of really cool people. And I'm going to talk to you about kind of the Astronomy Club presence at the last couple of meetings. The last winter meeting, which I hear the winter meetings, and from experience, the winter meetings are much more well attended. I'm not exactly sure why, but it was pretty awesome. We got to go to Seattle, home of the original Starbucks, home of the world's largest electrical guitar, the Space Needle, and those are some views from on top of the Space Needle. So Seattle's pretty cool, much different from Tucson. But we had, for Arizona, we had 6 U of A undergrads, which is pretty cool. I think we had more undergrads there than we had faculty and grad students from here combined, so we need to kind of push everybody else to maybe attend these meetings and present their research. But we were very well represented for undergraduates, and 5 of the 6 people there were Astronomy Club or are Astronomy Club members: Amy Robertson, Jake Turner, Camber Schwartz, Me and Wayne Schlingman, who is our graduate student. The most, well, probably the best part of this meeting for any undergraduate is the undergraduate opening reception. Mostly if you're interested in going to grad school. They have all sorts of sponsors from grad programs across the country, and this was probably the largest attendance of undergrads ever at a AAS meeting. So you can see the room is packed. Unfortunately, the U of A didn't have a booth, but Yancey was wearing a bright red shirt, walking around trying to, yeah, kind of like today, walking around trying to represent the U of A and talk to some hopeful grad students to this program. But if you're a junior, I highly recommend going to this meeting to present research. If you're a sophomore, definitely look into getting into research by your junior year, because the junior year is probably the best year to go to the winter meeting and go to this undergrad opening reception to learn about all these grad programs, introduce yourself to all sorts of people that run these programs, so maybe when you apply a year down the road, they'll recognize your name because they met you at this meeting or saw you or heard of you. Just get your name out there. If you're a senior, unfortunately, if you've already applied to grad school, this comes right after, so you can still get name recognition, but I highly recommend trying to get research by your junior year so that you can meet all sorts of cool people.
Usually that meeting is usually before almost all of the committees meet for grad apps.
Yeah, so if you're a senior, I highly recommend it too. So they'll definitely remember you for that year. One thing that was really cool that I got to attend, which I was just kind of pulled off to the side being like, hey, you should go to this, was a Society of Physics students undergraduate session, which was probably my favorite talk of the entire conference, only because it wasn't really tailored to people that are like in the field, in the zone, and in the know. This was more tailored to a general audience, which made it very understandable to me. And this was John Grunsfeld. He's called the Hubble repairman. He was the last guy to service Hubble, and he had a fantastic story. There's him wearing diffraction glasses, grading glasses, and it was really cool. He's now part of the Space Telescope Science Institute, and it was kind of neat to talk to him about Hubble and maybe his views on ground-based versus space-based observing. And it was he's a pretty cool guy. So you can meet all sorts of people like astronauts and famous astronomers that you've heard of in papers and print, but wouldn't realize that you actually get to meet these folks at this meeting. There were a lot of people there. This is the first invited lecture at like 8 in the morning, and being astronomers, you wouldn't expect everybody to be up that early, but they did some very good, they found a very good person. I believe this was Carolyn Porco of, I think she's from SETI. She does all sorts of stuff, but she was talking about Saturn and Titan, and the audience is full. So 8 in the morning sessions, audience is full. That's pretty amazing. Here is Amy presenting her research from her REU over in Virginia. She was doing an NRAO REU. Her stuff was pretty cool, and she had a few of the other people that she did her REU with her, so it was kind of neat looking at all of their presentations. Jake was talking about his research that he does over in LPL on Titan, and this is actually a person he met at Astronomy Camp who was also presenting his research, so it's kind of neat to see all sorts of people that you might have met somewhere else there too. There's Camber looking so thrilled to be there, presenting her REU research from the Mariah Mitchell, what is it? Observatory, yeah. So she had a really cool poster. There's me presenting my research next to Jacqueline. She was another undergraduate that we were in the same poster session. That was pretty fun. And then Wayne, looking so happy to talk to this gentleman about his research. And then here's the Astronomy Club poster. Yancey created an awesome poster, and all of us had a small part in it, and it was really cool. We got our name out there in this huge meeting of a lot of people. So we're getting our name out there by just even having a poster. You're immortalized in some abstract registry database somewhere. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, this was the Astronomy Club radio project that we did a couple of years ago. So it's kind of a preview of.
So yeah, we can definitely have another poster for this project for one of the upcoming AAS meetings. That would be awesome. So talking about the summer meeting, it was really cool. Much different location in Boston instead of Seattle, so way across the country. I don't know who decides the location, but both of these locations were very pricey, so getting to the meeting is another story, but if you're interested in going, we can try to work something out for Astronomy Club, and you can talk to your research advisors and can talk to us, and we can bug the student government to give us money. So Boston was really cool. Mostly I enjoyed the Museum of Science in Boston, which had a basically life-size model of the, what is it? Yeah, some Star Wars thing that Anakin Skywalker flew. That was pretty cool. It had a really awesome math exhibit, which was sponsored by Mathematica, but it's kind of funny because MATLAB is actually based in Boston, so I don't know why MATLAB didn't sponsor it and Mathematica did. But anyway, it also has the world's largest Van de Graaff generator built by Van de Graaff himself, so like way long ago, and that's really cool. It also had a fairly large Tesla coil, and then Boston itself has a million things to do, and unfortunately we were in my sister's car, and navigating Boston is terrible. You don't know how spoiled you are living in Tucson, but we got lost many times. There's also Faneuil Hall, which is a large cultural kind of center. They have all sorts of like live performances, just street performances, and it's kind of neat. There's like a food court that's kind of crazy. There's also this large compass and some random building with a tall tower. There are a lot of birds because it's near the ocean, and one person in particular that we met was the guy who actually started the TRES exoplanet survey thing that we're actually working on gathering data for. So you never know who you're going to meet, and we met in particular the guy who started the survey for the planets that we're observing. So it's pretty cool. Arizona representation, again, the summer meetings are much less attended, but we did have a decent representation. We had one U of A student, Tim, and 2 recent graduates, myself and Jake. So in total we had 3 Astronomy Club members, and 1 Astronomy Club alum, my sister, was actually there. She's now in New York doing grad school, but it's kind of cool because I was in the same poster session as her, and there was 1 person between our posters, because we're actually doing surprisingly similar research, which is kind of crazy, but it works. Again, there are all sorts of people there. Space Telescope Science Institute really loves to have like all sorts of 3D images, and they of course had a 3D something that Hubble looked at, and all sorts of people wearing 3D glasses. There are all sorts of really cool freebie type booths. So if you want a lot of free stuff for astronomy, and we do since we do a lot of public outreach, this is a really cool conference to go to. For the Seattle meeting, I almost didn't make it through security. I had so much stuff packed in my bags, and they had to take all of it out, and I had trouble packing it back in. But you can get a lot of stuff. there's Jake presenting our Astronomy Club results from our exoplanet project, and he's talking to some fairly important people. He was the one that actually first met the person who started this survey, and the guy was actually impressed by the work that we're doing. So the person that discovered these planets acknowledging that we're doing some pretty awesome work is pretty exciting, and Jake's very happy, as you can tell. There's me presenting my research. Another thing that you can do as a student is apply for a Student Achievement Award called the Chambliss Award, and a lot of undergrads do it, and it's highly competitive. And all three of us that attended actually applied for it, and I actually got, so it's kind of disheartening because I thought I had actually gotten the full award, but then I read later in an email that it was like an honorable mention. But I had first looked at their website, and they don't list anything about honorable mentions, so that's okay. It's still a very good award to win, and it'll probably look awesome on grad school applications. So if you do submit a poster, I highly recommend that you sign up for this. You'll get judged by at least 2 judges. Some of them will introduce themselves and say, hey, I'm a judge, but others won't. But you can definitely get your research out there and make yourself well known, and if you win this award, it's pretty awesome as an undergrad student to win an award presenting research in astronomy. Tim, looking very happy, very bright in the morning, bright and early in the morning. We had all sorts of poster fun issues, and his is very pretty and colorful, and it was very exciting to see what Tim was presenting.
Also, I want to point out we have the Astronomy Club kind of logo.
We do.
So that's another way we rep astronomy.
Yeah, so all of us, since we were supported by Astronomy Club, we definitely recognize Astronomy Club's contribution on all of our work. There's my sister. I was like 2 posters to the right, and she's a former member now in New York, and she was very happy to be there. So coming up, I actually want to try to garner some interest in attending the upcoming AAS meeting in Austin, Texas. If there's anybody that has any student research that they're currently conducting, or think that they might be able to come up with something for this meeting, or if you want to help present more results, if we get somewhere on our Astronomy Club projects, maybe the radio project, I'm not sure how much we're going to get done this semester, but maybe our exoplanet project, if we get more data, we might have some more results to present. But if you're interested, and if you have any research from anywhere on campus relating to astronomy, let us know. We want to make it very well known that the U of A undergraduate representation, we want to show them that the U of A is really good at trying to inspire student research at the undergrad level, and it'll make us look good, it'll make the department look good, and you can definitely meet all sorts of people. And Austin is probably a much better location than Seattle or Boston, because I'm sure we can find much cheaper hotels and much better transportation situation. So if you're interested in going to the Austin AAS meeting, talk to me or talk to Yancey, because Yancey actually went to UT Austin for grad school, and he knows a lot about the area and can tell you all about it and all sorts of people that you'll meet. So talk to either one of us if you would like to attend. The early registration is going on right now. It's fairly cheap right now, and that lasts until September 15th, but regular registration goes on for like another month or so after that, until October 5th. So talk to us. We'll figure out something about registration. If you're a member, which students get a really good deal for being members, if you sign up As a junior member, your first time, $55 covers 2 years of registration, and that's really good for a world-renowned organization for registration costs. So, and that makes all sorts of things cheaper, and you get all sorts of really cool newsletters and access to all sorts of freebies. So just talk to us. Future planning, the next summer meeting is going to be in Anchorage, Alaska, which I just want to go because it's Alaska. Hopefully I have something new and cool to present, but yeah, if there's anybody interested in going to Alaska, that's a little bit further down the road, but just letting you know that that's out there, and if you have anything to present, we can try to help support you and figure out all the money situations. And
Maybe we can do a radio project for
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
We should have data by.
Yeah, definitely. So we can maybe somehow get to Anchorage, Alaska. The earlier we plan, the better. So we'll probably be able to present some results at the Alaska meeting. So I think that's it. If you have any questions or want to talk about AAS meetings, please come talk to me.
Also, shirts for sale.
Yes, come get shirts over here if you want
I've
some.
just left, but I can take registration.